If you want to get the PDF or you want to download like the current state of your tax form, I'll show you how to do that. There's this print center down here, and that is where you can download your PDF of your actual tax form. However, if you've used a premium product or if you're not done with your tax return, it won't let you download it, or it'll make you pay before you download it. So inside this print center, I think for me, it's going to say I haven't finished my return. I can print, save, or preview this year's return. Sounds great, but then they need more info. I need to complete the return, or if I have completed it, it's going to ask me to pay for it before I can download it. So there's this other spot where you can preview your return, and we can maybe save that web page preview as a PDF to kind of get all of our information. To do that, we would go back to the tools and then go to that view tax summary. This is going to show you a quick summary of your federal taxes, but on the left-hand side, under 2024 taxes or whatever year you're working on, we're going to see preview my 1040 as well. We click on that, and we have this form here that is our worksheet, right? It's our form 1040 that we would be sending in, and it has our information inserted in here. You'll have a lot more than me if you already started your return, but you can see here, like I put a first name, a last name, scroll down. I think there's even like the, a standard deduction or whatever that's in here. So all the information that you've filled in will be inside of here. The problem with this is we can't just print this because you can see that there's a box around it, and you kind of scroll up and down inside this box. If you scroll outside the box, you kind of move past it, right? So depending on how your browser, computer, monitor, and everything is previewing this, it should look something like this. So if we just save this, it's only going to save the current view of this little box. Not very helpful. But if you want to get nerdy with me for a second, there is a way that you can change things on websites just by editing the HTML. I do it in Google Chrome a lot, so I'm going to show you how to do this in Google Chrome. However, you can do it in other browsers too, if you just kind of apply the same process. In Google Chrome, what you would do is just kind of right-click on your web page, and there's this little inspect item down here. Now, this is also underneath either view or edit. I think it's in view and then developer, and we would go to inspect elements. So you click that, or you just right-click on your web page and go to inspect. That's going to pull open this tab on the right that looks like computer code, because it's a bunch of HTML. And even if you know nothing about it, I'm going to show you how to make it so this form goes all the way down the page, and we could save the whole page and save the whole form, basically. And so to do that, we are basically going to click on this little button in the upper left-hand corner that lets us select an element on the page. And then we can see as we hover over, we can actually select different things. So what I'm going to do is kind of find where this form is. So you kind of see that I'm hovering over this box area here. That's the form. And so I can click on it. When I click on it, it highlights that in the code on the right. And so I can look at this code, and as I'm scrolling or as I'm moving my mouse over some of the code, it actually shows me the different areas highlighted out on the page, like what these apply to. And I see that I clicked on this one, but actually the one before it also is the box of the form. And so I want to go to the one that's the furthest up in the code that highlights the box, which would be this one. And so from here, we can see that it actually gives us a height and a width. And so the height is what we care about, because this box is only so tall. We need it to go all the way down the page. To do that, we can actually just double click on this code here, and it's going to kind of take us into like a text edit mode. And from here, we can click and highlight the height here, which is this unit, 768 pixels, right? And all you're going to do is type in 100%. Think of it as like, I want to see 100% of this form. And we're going to press enter. And it's not going to look like it does much, but back out here, and actually we can click on this X in the upper right to get rid of this whole console. And now our page is back to normal-ish. But what we see now is as we scroll down the page, we see the entire form. So we don't have to scroll inside that little box anymore, this form is on our entire page. And so as we scroll up here, we're going to just right click on this web page again, and we're going to go to print. Or you can always go to file and then down to print as well. And so we're not actually going to print the page, but on destination or anywhere in where you're selecting your printer, you're going to find save as PDF. Now on Windows, this may be in another spot. It could be in the lower left-hand corner or somewhere else. But most little print dialog windows like this, you'll be able to find, instead of printing it on a printer, you can print it to a PDF. So save it to a PDF. Now you can see here, as we preview what we're saving, all these different pages to our PDF, we actually have all that information inserted as well. So the information that you put into TurboTax is on this form. Names, date, all the different data, all the different numbers and everything is on this form. And so we can then go save this as a PDF to wherever we want to save it. If you happen to be on a Mac, you can open the PDF in preview or something like that. But basically you would save it. And then once you open it up, it would look something like this. And so you would have a PDF right here of your tax form. I think I increased the percentage of it by 150% so it fit on this a little more. I'll go check that for you guys if you don't know how to do that. But this tax form has all that data inserted into it. It's not something you can send in. You can't send this tax form in. This is not a form to send in, but it is something for you to reference, whether you just have this PDF on your computer or you actually do print it out just so that you can see everything that you entered, and maybe that will help you when you go back through TurboTax after you take it back to free to be able to actually fill in all that information again. Now, like I said, I increased the zoom on this a little bit, so I think that was sort of just an auto thing. So if you go back and you go print this inside of more settings or something in here, you'll probably see something called scale as you go down the little menu items and everything. And the scale is probably on default for you or something else. And that default scale, even though it doesn't look like it changed, for me originally it was smaller. So I'm going to go back to custom and 100 here because it was a lot smaller before. I'm even going to go to 75 or 50. Yeah, so your sheet could look like this. It kind of depends. Like it could be really small like that. So you would just change the scale of this to something that maybe fits the page a little bit better, and that will make the form fit a little bit better on your PDF that you're saving. All right, so that's how you can kind of extract a PDF from TurboTax of the current tax return that you're working on.